Before we start this video, I want to ask, why is it that when I go onto Google and I type in Zakar's name, the first thing that comes up is this? Cause I'll bet both my testicles that this was not here before. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with my series, this is the name of my main character in it. But on the real, I want to know who did this and how. Because you are either the child of the CEO of Google or you're the world's greatest hacker. Now to jump into my brain. So you ever watch a movie, or maybe this has happened to you in real life, and the person who's robbing you says, "Hey, don't take it personally." And you're sitting there like, well, you just took something from me. Like, what else am I supposed to take if not this shit personally? Or maybe a nigga is fucking your bitch and he just says, "Hey, yo man, don't take this shit personally." And then it's like, okay, well now at this point, when am I supposed to take something personally? But where I draw the line is when a nigga has a gun to my face and says he's about to kill me and then tells me, "Don't take it personally." Nigga, you are about to take my life. Let me have something, goddammit. One of the craziest lies I ever told a girl in order to impress her was that I blocked a basketball so hard that I made it inside the other hoop on the other side of the court. Now, I want y'all to sit there and think for a second how much force it is required to send a ball that far, and then on top of that, make sure that it's actually accurate. Nigga, I would need to shatter every bone in my hand and fracture my arm in order to make that shit work. After I put out that video about the top 5 worst names, why did no one alert me to the presence of the name Gallagher? I personally feel as though if you presented that name and Humphrey to a mock trial, niggas would be there for hours debating which one was the worst name. Why is this white shirt called a wife beater instead of this? Like, I went on Google and typed in wife beater glasses and this came up. So everyone knows what it means. Like, I can say that I've seen people who have worn this who have not beaten their wives, but 100% of the people who have worn this have definitely beaten their wives. Normally, whenever a friend of mine says that they're struggling to find a job, I just end up telling them to lie on their resume. But I started to realize that depending on the job, this could be very bad advice. For example, if I had a friend who was a doctor who was trying to get into a hospital that had failed 2 open heart surgeries, I don't think it's a good idea for me to tell him to lie on his resume. That nigga should stay unemployed. Or like, why would I tell an architect friend whose only 2 buildings that they have made have collapsed to lie on their resume? Like, I'm basically about to have blood on my hands in the future. Finding out that someone I told to kill themselves died ain't enough for me. In fact, showing up to that person's funeral and spitting on their grave is not enough. No. I must have front row seats as he is guided into the depths of hell by Satan himself. Since we're on the topic of religious things, so apparently the Adam's apple exists because Adam got the apple stuck in his throat while eating it, which sounds dumb because nigga, just chew your fucking food, bozo. But how did he sound like before that shit happened? Who is stopping me from putting numbers in the name area of a birth certificate? I don't know if somebody made this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. CNN, breaking news, person named news. I've been saying this for a minute, but as much as I want to fuck a big booty white bitch, there's no way that I could date one, because at the end of the day, I can't imagine living in a house in where somebody that I'm dating won't say nigga back to me. And you'd be like, oh, you could just give her the N-word pass. And my response is, hey, that's not a bad idea, actually. But for all fine ass white women out there, shit, just come date me. You know, you free N-word pass right there, like that. I've heard a lot of conservatives complain about critical race theory and how they don't want that shit involved in their kids' education. But I want to point out one thing. When learning about history and Native Americans, you remember how nice Christopher Columbus was made out to be? Like, apparently he was a kind person coming to stake his claim in native lands. Like, I remember in kindergarten, we even had a project where we had to make little models of the boats that he sailed from Spain to America. Now, there were people who were of Native American descent as well in my class. Now, I don't know about y'all, but to me, that is the equivalent of having black people draw the slave ships that brought them from Africa to America. It's like, here, Daquan, make this model of the Clotilda. You know, the boat that brought the last of your ancestors to here from Africa, or else you're gonna fail this class. Also, on a side note, who the fuck named a boat some ugly ass name like Clotilda? All right, what the fuck has anybody on a student body done besides organize events? I hung out with the delinquents all throughout high school, so I never knew what the fuck they did. But I'm sitting here thinking that some kid is allowed to run for treasury. As insane as it sounds to allow a high schooler to be in charge of funds, nigga, why was the position given to niggas in elementary school? Niggas still struggling with basic addition and you want a second grader to be in charge of where the fuck money goes? But it does make me laugh to remember that the easiest way to win the election in elementary school was to just be like, bruh, no homework for the rest of the school year if I voted in. Who in the fuck is calculating a year's worth of anything? Like, how do you figure that out? What type of math are you doing? AP Calculus 3? But look, all I'm saying is, if you say you're gonna give me a year's worth of candy and you only give me 2 gallons of that shit, I'm suing your entire corporation for fraud. I know that people are gonna say this is for balancing reasons, but if I catch you saying that in the comments below, I will find your IP address and live in your walls for a year, making random noises so you can question your sanity. Do not try me. But why is it that whenever Superman is in a game, whatever attack he does not result in the immediate death of the enemy with just a single punch? Like, niggas be getting punched by Superman, fly across the entire city, and then get up like the main character in an anime talking about, oh, this is where it gets good. Like, no, nigga, die! There are some animals to this day that I don't believe have sex in order to have children. Not because I think that they are asexual reproducers, but because I can't actually imagine them having sex. Like a millipede, for example. Can you see them motherfuckers smashing? Yet, they have 4 penises. I didn't even know that. What the fuck? I don't know if this is racist or not, but there are certain names I will read backwards because they sound so ridiculous the way that they are said right now. Like, my nigga, this is just the name James in disguise. Now, I hope you enjoyed your time on my thoughts. Now get out of my head.